Good morning, everyone. I'm Bernadette A. Moises from AMA University, and today I'm going to present to you my course project in data analysis. So let's look at the overview first. Okay, so for our overview, we have four main topics that we're going to discuss about. So for the first one, we have the questions. These questions, we're going to solve them later after we discuss what's in the table, what are the sleep quality scoring guide, and what are job performance scoring guide. So for a sleep quality scoring guide and job performance scoring guide, these two relates to the table itself so that we can answer the questions above. Okay? So let's look at what are the questions is all about first. So for our first problem, is there a significant relationship between insomnia and job performance of the respondents? For a second problem, is there a significant difference in the level of sleep quality when they grouped according to sex? And lastly, is there a significant difference in the level of job performance when they grouped according to sex? So if you observe these three problems, this is these problems we're going to solve this using the table and the scoring guides. Okay, so let's look at the table first. So this is the table that I'm talking about. So if you observe, we have only female and males respondents. We have 18 females and 12 males. So this is the sleep quality and the job performance. So in the sleep quality column, you can see the numbers, right? And as well as the job performance. We don't know what it means, what the number means yet. That's why we need the sleep quality scoring guide. So let's look at the sleep quality scoring guide first. Sorry. Okay, for a sleep quality scoring guide, uh, if our respondents have 0 to 7 score, it means that they have no clinical significant insomnia. For 8 to 14, they have sub-threshold insomnia. 15 to 21, clinical insomnia or moderate severity. And lastly, 22 to 28, they have clinical insomnia or they have severe insomnia. So for a job performance, here. So if our respondents have the score of 0 to 20, they failed. And if they have 21 to 40, they're not that good. 41 to 60, they only meet the expectation. And from 61 to 80, they exceeded the expectation. So we're going to use this scoring guide to understand the table here. Okay, so for example, let's look at our first female respondents. So our first female respondents, she has a score of 24. So if we're going to look back on our scoring guide, the 24 here, she she has a severe clinical insomnia. Okay? So if we're going to look at her job performance, her score is 60 and she only meets the expectations. Okay? That's how we're going to use this scoring guide to understand more the table. Okay? So how about our first male respondents? So for our first male respondents, he has a sleep quality score of um 18. So 18, he has a clinical insomnia or moderate severity. Unlike the female respondents, she has a severe, and from our male respondents, he has moderate severity only. Okay? So for his job performance, he has 70 score. So for her 70, it means he exceeded the expectations. Okay? So now that we observe the table and how the scoring guide relates to the table, now we can answer the question. Let's look at the first question again. So for our first question, is there a significant relationship between insomnia and job performance of the respondents? Okay. So if we're going to look at the table again, uh, let's go- uh, let's look at the first female respondents. So for our first female respondents, she has a sleep quality of 24, right? And her job performance is 60. Sleep quality is severe and her job performance is 60. It means she only meets the expectations. So because of her sleep quality, or because she has an insomnia, it affects her job performance. That's why she only meets the expectations. Unlike if we're going to look at our male respondent, here our first male respondent, he has a sleep quality of 18, and it means that he only has moderate severity insomnia. So that's why his job performance exceeded the expectation. That's why he has 80 score. Unlike on our female respondents, her job performance is only 60. That's why um, our male respondents have the higher job performance than our female respondents because of their sleep quality. Okay, so for our next question, is there a significant difference in the level of sleep quality when they grouped according to sex? Okay, so here I have um, this. I calculated their overall average for and our male and female for the sleep quality as well as their job performance or their overall average in their job performance and for our male and female. So we're going to look at their overall average. They have 18.33% in their sleep quality. So our male respondents, overall male respondents, they have the score of 92% on their sleep quality scoring sleep quality. Okay, so most of our male respondents they didn't experience much of an insomnia or they don't have much difficulty in dealing with sleep quality or their job or insomnia. Unlike in our female respondents, they have 20.28%. So they exceeded the overall average of the sleep quality in our table. That's why if we're going to answer on the next question, number three, significant difference in the level of job performance when they grouped according to sex. If we're going to look at the job performance of our overall average, they have 71.6%. On their male respondents, they have 75.33%, and for the female respondents, they have 69.11%. So we can compare our overall average in sleep quality and job performance. Okay, so for our male respondents, their sleep quality is 14.92%, and uh, they are experiencing less difficulties in sleeping. Unlike our female respondents, they exceeded the overall average of the sleep quality, which is 20.28%. That's why it affects their job performances. So if we're going to look at our male respondents on the job performances, they exceeded the overall average of 71.6 because the sleep quality is less than the sleep quality of our female respondents. That's why if we're going to look at the job performance of our female respondents, they have 69.11%. It's much less than the male respondents, right? Your performance because much or most of our female respondents is experiencing insomnia. That's why it affects their job performances. That's why they have low job performances. Okay? I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain here in our sleep quality job performances on how they relate and connects with each other. And to answer these three questions, if we're going to go back, there is a significant relationship between insomnia and your performance of respondents, right? And yes, there are significant differences in the level of sleep quality when we group them according to sex, as well as the differences of level in their job performance when we group them according to sex. Okay, so thank you for listening and have a great day.